I'm in the Public TV offices talking to Mr. Ranganath. Public TV was launched the same week newslaundry.com launched on February the 12th. It is a completely different concept, business model from what is existing in Karnataka today. And the maverick, very serious, old school journalist, Mr. Ranganath, gives us what the ideas were in starting this.
I'm a firm believer in journalism. That whether Times of India groups believes in it or not, I don't care about it.
They definitely don't.
Content has to drive whatever the product you are running.
But Times of India is the largest newspaper in the world, not in India.
No, half of the Times Group directors were here 15 days ago to see this model. And I told them, I know you have declared policies, you don't need journalists.
Exactly.
Your declared policy.
They hate journalists.
Yeah.
They don't have an editor.
Vinit Jain has no hesitation in announcing it. I don't need an editor to run a paper.
Yeah. Business runs it.
Yeah. So maybe they are right.
He said we're selling toothpaste.
I'm not really criticizing them or saying anything. But I strongly believe Times has to give some good content if it has to survive in the market.
But why did they come to see you?
Just casual. I have few friends there. ET now is headed by a friend of mine. I know Sunil Rashekar, who has been the director of Times Group for the last 15, 17 years. For
So did you tell them what you thought of them?
Obviously. I tell everybody.
And
I don't
what
hesitate.
was their response?
No, that's their model. See, every business
You see, when
house.
Samir Jain first started.
What is the business model followed by Tatas is never followed by Reliance, the Ambanis.
True.
The model followed by Airtel is probably never followed by Vodafone. Or a model followed by Captain Gopinath in Air Deccan was never the model of Vijay Mallya, and he had to face the consequences of it. So each one has a model. That's their choice. I can't help. And I strongly believe when you give the content, leave it to the people.
But two things. When Times of India first started selling editorial space.
I'm not talking of the editorial space sell. I'm talking about content creation versus the journalist predominance, which we all expect to be there in a news media corporation.
But the editorial space is selling editorial space.
Of course, you have 95% of editorial space which is not sold too. We are concentrating our energies and mind on a 5% of what is happening. If the 95% is bad and if the 5% is sold wherever they want to or in whatever the manner they want
But is it 5% that's sold? Is it the other ratio? 95% is sold and
I'll
5%
tell you one,
is editorial.
I'm very sure with this. People call me old-time journalism. I don't care about it. But as a whole lot, a media office cannot be sold unless the management has decided and started it only for that purpose.
But that's what the management in Times of India has decided.
There are
a
a lot of news still Times of India attracts your attention to read.
No, because recently they've discovered, like you, that good journalism sells.
I'll tell you, two things they have discovered. They have not just discovered one. Economics per se is part and parcel of the business. I accept it. But they have realized editorial per se is also part and parcel of the economics they want to pursue.
But they've recently realized that.
Yeah, that's one part. Part two, they have realized, according to me, because I've been noticing those changes that you can feel it with the paper. Sleaze
Down.
is down. More pro-people stories are moving into page 1. These are the poor man's story, which Times never thought can be sold actually. It's like a television organization. It's not a non-TRP story or a non-GRP story, whatever be it. Likewise, Times never believed a poor man's story can never be sold on page 1. They thought their client base or the readership base is completely different from that. But now they have realized it. It's no longer that.
Yeah.
So I always feel that the socialistic feeling will be lurking behind everybody's mind.
But Mr. Ranganath, isn't this in one way more dangerous? Because at one time when it was all sold and you could see this is a planted story from a corporate house against another corporate house, or a government department against another government, or within ministries, or whatever the plants were. It was clear that they are just doing a business marketing model. Now they've realized that good journalism sells.
Madhu,
now it's getting all mixed up.
You have been in this career for last 3 decades.
Yes.
Or a little more than that. Can you show me when this was not done? It was done subtly.
But to this degree,
it was done subtly, and it was camouflaged
that's true.
in different ideological reasonings. It was camouflaged.
But the difference over here is that when you announce that greed is good, when you announce that we're going to sell it, we don't care about journalists, which has been announced.
It's a very passionate point which I have been pursuing for a very long time.
Mine too.
The democracy is in danger not because of journalism. Democracy is in danger the way journalism is being expanded. What was the scenario, say 15 years ago? Hindustan Times had settled down with what it has in Delhi. The Times has settled down with what it has in Bombay. The Express Group had simply scattered all around, and it was doing its job. The Hindu had settled down south in Chennai region. The Telegraph had settled down, or later the earlier version of, the earlier paper Anand Bazar had settled down in Calcutta. They were doing a good job. According to them, I'm talking. Whether you like it or I like it.
They were making reasonable profits.
Now, what happened? Post-liberalization, the ambition of building your brands started increasing.
Obsessively.
Very obsessively. And liberalization brought money too. In 2 categories it brought. A, on the investment side it brought money. That is, liquidity was available for asking. For someone to expand, I need money. All right, it was available. 2, the growing middle class has started getting some money. So they exactly knew that they can expand their base. Both coupled, and all of them started spreading their wings. Times came to Delhi, Hindustan Times goes to Bombay, Hindu comes to Bangalore, or Hindu tries to improve its Bangalore edition, it goes to Delhi. I see no reason, rhyme or logic why Hindu should be sold in Delhi. Of course, it is still sold because of the old bureaucratic presence that is still available in Hindi, English. Then Deccan Herald today goes to Delhi. I asked Shant Kumar, what is the Deccan Herald wants to do in Delhi?
Make money.
How? You are otherwise also making money. Udayvani, sitting in the coastal belt in the remotest corner of Karnataka, which hardly comprises of 2 districts, has a circulation base of say 180,000 or 190,000 copies. Its Bangalore edition probably chips in around 40,000 copies or 50,000 copies. But they earn more money than Prajavani, or very equal to Prajavani, which has a 5.5 lakh circulation. How is it? 2 district newspaper, largely operating in 2 districts of Karnataka, sitting in 1 coastal corner of the state. How does it make money? Their annual turnover appears to be, according to their declared figures, is something like 54 crores or something. How is it? Deccan Herald continues to make money whether it prints in Delhi or not, because someone, a media manager, a space seller, an ad agency, if it wants to pick up somebody in Karnataka, they have an obvious 2 choice. Obviously, it is Times of India, if you are catering to those.
All marketing.
Exactly. And it's the next one is the Deccan Herald. So no advertiser will come to Deccan Herald only because he has started printing in Delhi. He wants to know what is your original base in Karnataka where I want to advertise.
So let's talk about your channel.
Why not?
Your public TV it's the most daring decision to take at this time when all the channels, most of the channels are losing money, and in their desperation are putting more sleaze and more bhoot pret and more crazy stories, nothing to do with serious journalism. And you have taken a decision in this very crowded space in Karnataka, where there are politically owned channels.
All of them.
Exactly, which is again a very scary thought, to start a new channel which is not funded by any political party, because there are all kinds of things to undermine you. But you're doing it. What was your inspiration? How did you come to the idea? How did you do it? Where are you getting the money? All that.
My assets have been declared
I
in
know
a
that's
live show.
you've done something very strange.
And I have
Sitting next
also-
to you was your accountant.
Yeah, my chartered accountant.
Why did you do that?
I wanted to shut others' mouth. Journalism has not only stepped into large political reporting and unfounded reports being covered. They've also slipped into, they themselves have become politicians because of long exposure to politicians.
I call that the access
They
press.
think
vanity
they can
press.
hit and run and get away. So I didn't want to allow that to happen. So I put my assets on air, and I have even given them a general power of attorney. If they find even a nail beyond this, they have been permitted to go and auction it. I have only a request. If possible, that money be used for public welfare. Okay, you were asking me why this concept came in. It's true what you said. In Karnataka, at least all the channels are owned by the politicians. At least 3 of them are owned by politicians. 1 is owned by a half-time politician. Okay, I don't want to name because it's his business again. And 1 is TV9, which we all know, it's again sort of an industry funding because of the man who started it originally belonged to Satyam. That is Srini Raju. So there was no channel space. Actually, it's a crowded market. But I've been asking this question to everybody. How many soaps we have seen as we took birth in this country? How many ordinary soaps have come and gone in the market? How many toothpastes have come and gone in the market? Did the last toothpaste, the manufacturer was worried about the earlier ones? He still came into the market. Which means you can never ever hope to have period closed.
May I suggest that you use another analogy other than toothpaste?
No,
and
I'll
soap?
tell you why.
Because Sameer Jain is saying that
No,
journalism
I'm telling
is
you why. And I'm just
toothpaste.
giving the logic, that's all.
But you have a USP. There are 2 things. One, that it is not politically owned. And secondly, you're into serious journalism.
Correct.
So, and none of the others are. Because first of all, in any television or newspaper, the first thing one would ask of a reader or a viewer in good journalism is the trust that they could suspend their disbelief. Today, when we read a newspaper or we watch television, you do not suspend your disbelief. You read it with a question mark. Who's planted the story? Who's it against? Why is it there? So you're going with the USP that you will now, when you watch public TV, you will ask them to suspend their disbelief.
That's what I prefer to say.
Yes.
And that is what I want them to believe also.
So are you taking ads?
Yeah, I am.
Are you getting a lot of them?
I don't say a lot of them. We are hardly a 3-month-old baby.
Yeah.
See, we started on February 12th. August 1st, we applied for the license. When I went to apply for the license, everybody on the corners and streets of Delhi told me that you need to spend 1 crore rupee, at least 85% of is below the table, to get a license. Otherwise, it's an impossible job. Forget it. I told them I will not pay a pie. And I will not go and beg anybody. I will legally go and get this license. Maybe your disbelief, I can say, on 61st day, I got my license from the date of application. I did
anyone
not
ask
pay.
for a bribe?
No.
They
I'll tell
didn't
you, this is
even
what I
ask.
wanted to tell you. Let me go on record in saying, Ministry of Information Broadcasting headed by that lady, whoever
Ambika
it is.
Soni.
No, the secretary, Supriya Sahu or something, a lady from Orissa, IAS officer. It's an unbelievable transparency I saw in their operations.
Really?
I'm very, very humbled by their operational style. I don't
This
know
is
what
good
they have
news.
done
This
with
is-
others.
This is breaking news.
No. Let anybody go and check this. I have no hesitation in saying it in any platform. They are really wonderfully transparent. And they did not ask me a single extra question where it is not necessary. They did not send back my papers when they felt it is in order. And they cleared it. Who should be financing this is the question. The first call that was taken in June, July, debar politicians from financing. Debar certain industrial houses or industries per se. I put it as mining in Karnataka. Even if they are coming, from somebody else through a third party company they are trying to finance or anything? No, we said nothing to. So we excluded them and then started looking for people. We got good two people. One owns an audio company who is again connected to my business, or rather this office. The other one is a wonderful film producer who has done lots of movies and all, and who has no connections of whatsoever political.
So how much investment is required for something?
I don't tell you exactly the figure, but I'll give you a rough idea. Assume everybody in this country talks about to start a regional channel, you require somewhere in the region of between 38 to 45 crores. Everybody says even an okay channel can be launched in the range of around 40 crores, average. You can say 25% of it. This is an office which is completely recycled.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Me and my friend who also happens to be the CEO here, when we took this call, this entire office is recycled from the scrap material of the great software industry in Bangalore.
Stuff they threw out?
Yeah, everything. The panels, the glass, the doors, the windows, the workstations. You talk of anything, it's all second hand. The lights, we sourced it through all the scrap dealers in Bangalore. We went and met them. We told them what is that we are looking for, and they took us to various scrap places.
The carpet?
No, this is new. Otherwise, all inside outside is all old.
That's unfair. You get the new one, all the others
Exactly.
get
I told him the same question. I asked him the same question. This is exactly the question I have raised. And we did not have the integrators in this channel. We did not have any technical integrators. We have done the job ourselves. We did not have an architect for this building. We have done the job ourselves. So, idea was to keep the capex under control and spend where it is absolutely necessary. Do not overspend. For example, if you have 4 studios, all you require is, say, in the region of 7 to 8 studio cameras are enough for. You can keep rotating them, using them. For example, I don't know how much of it you know it. Say D50 or D55, the studio cam setup, the entire chain I am talking. It includes CCU, cable, adapter, lens, everything put together. The whole chain, I think we require around 8 chains. That's all enough, more than enough.
Is that also second hand?
Yeah, indeed. No doubt. No doubt about it. We have got it from closed television channels. We located them and we went there. We spoke to them and we told them, you will never reopen. Then why do you waste them?
In Karnataka or outside?
No, many places, starting from Chennai, Bombay, Calcutta, Uttaranchal. We have sourced it from lots of places. Still, there is no guarantee in this country. News channels can be, even break even could be different for news channels.
Not in this country, all over the world.
No, all over the world will change, and in India also it will change, starting from 2013.
What will happen?
Once the digitalization happens, the whole tamasha of GRP and GRP, the game itself will start changing. 2/12 June, metros will have to undergo the digitalization. 2/13 March or May, Bangalore and other cities will have to come under. 2/14, the rest of Karnataka will have to be digitalized. 2 things will happen. What is killing the news genre of the TV medium is the carriage fee. Carriage fee is the biggest worry to a broadcaster today.
Yeah, distribution is killing them.
Yeah, it's virtually killing. And there is no reason or logic or how the money is calculated. Each one is doing at his whims and fancy. Digitalization per se will bring down the carriage cost at least by 30-40%. And thirdly, lastly, according to me, the exact number of viewership will be known once the digitalization is done.
Instead of these phantom TRPs, which
Exactly.
I don't believe at all.
Exactly. No, whether X believes or Y believes, you have one system in place. Because we do not have an alternate
So
system.
that is documented with when you have the...
We do not have an alternative. Hence, we have no option but to accept it today. But tomorrow it is not necessary. You exactly know how many digital boxes have moved from an MSO to an LCO. That is multi-signal operator to a local cable operator. How much they have moved. So, the news channels may become the pay channels. If a newspaper in this country is bought, why a serious, good loving, caring news channel cannot be paid and watched, is my
And
question.
also website.
Exactly, I'm talking. So my view is, ultimately, you said the sleaze, this, that and all. Like in print journalism, the electronic medium, particularly more so in the language side I'm talking, start settling down with certain things. It will take some time. I don't expect this to happen over next 48 hours or 72 hours. It will take time. Once it settles down, the serious news channels can enter into the arena of the pay channel business.
Tell me about this assets ombudsman that you have spoken about.
I have declared my assets. I'm asking my colleagues to declare their assets now.
Are they all listening to you?
Yeah, majority of them, yes. I think most of them. Okay, then what happens? Somebody will challenge this. They have to challenge this if they want to. For example, a colleague of mine, somebody will say, no, what he has declared is wrong. That is,
Oh yeah, well somebody said that you had taken from some politician you
yeah, somebody.
a
No,
plot.
I'll tell you why somebody, I will tell you. Why, let me go on record. Initially, when we started off, they said Krishna, SM Krishna through Siddharth is funding it. Siddharth is the coffee day. Poor fellow, I don't know where he is. He didn't even know I'm doing a project. Next, they came out with a builder friend called Nitesh Estates. They started funding. Then they came out with Yediyurappa. Then they came out with Shivakumar. Then they came out with X. They exhausted all. And finally, they realized they don't have one more man to say. So they kept quiet. So we told them, my dear friends,
Who's
please,
them?
please hang on.
Who's them? The planters, story
Whoever it
planters.
is, I don't care about it. And normally I don't care. And my principle is that I keep working. And if I feel I'm clear, clean and correct in my conscience, in my heart, I don't care what they are talking. We told everybody, whoever has raised it with me, why don't you have the patience and hang on and wait just for a period of 3 to 4 months. We are going to tell you who it is, A. B. In a country where Right to Information Act is so strong, go and apply, you will get it. Because ultimately any investment declaration will have to be made to the ROC, Registrar of Company. It's available. You pay money, apply, take it. Why are you making a nonsense of all this?
Tell me, who thought of this program, Public Raid?
There's a girl, actually she came out with this idea, which we started improvising it. I think the original credit must go to that girl, a young girl.
What's her name?
Raksha. Raksha came out with this idea when we started off. So we wanted a face to do that program. So we got hold of Master Hirannaya, Master Hirannaya is a man whom I can call the doyen of the father of all the fights that has taken place against corruption in this Karnataka.
Okay.
He must have done some 10,000 plays. He is a very famous personality who has fought corruption. So we thought he should be doing it, and he is doing it. When everyone said don't price
Why are so many
it,
channels owned by politicians in the south?
politicians in Karnataka or in down south,
Are actors?
no, they believe a channel can propel them to the seat of the chief minister.
Does it?
It will never.
You don't want to be chief minister for sure.
Me, not me, politicians.
No, but I'm turning it around.
Me, I hate to enter even that area.
Okay, so they do these channels thinking,
They think owning a channel,
and they're chief minister.
they will be easily propelled.
Where did they get this idea from?
I don't know. I have equally laughed at this idea. It could be connected to some movement of money also. I suspect this.
So it's a good way to launder money.
Yeah, I suspect it. I am not saying I know or I have a document to prove or I have a case study to explain, but there is a possibility of it. And thirdly, I think, if you have noticed, many politicians have also entered into distribution. Distribution is an area where you can really control the TV channels.
Who sees what in which area?
Exactly, you are really worried about it. You may be producing some of the finest and the most wonderful programs of the world.
Unless it's
Who is watching
distributed.
it?
Yeah.
It's
how's
not like a
your
newspaper.
distribution
I'll
doing?
tell you, it's not like a newspaper.
How's
In a
yours?
newspaper, assume Manmohan Singh gets angry with Hindustan Times on a particular day. He simply cannot stop the circulating Hindustan Times in Delhi, except one of his crony or a follower decides to stop it in Jantar Mantar area or in India Gate area or Vasanta Vihar or some place. That's all. There in that area you can stop some 5,000 copies being distributed, not distributed. That's all. The rest of the year it will get distributed. Not the television. He has only one switch. Remember, if he switches off, you are gone. So every television is naturally worried.
And how is your distribution doing? You're
Not
going
bad.
through cable operators
MSOs.
and you have to pay
Obviously.
huge.
It depends on your relationship again.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is. Always.
So you think that if they believe in your channel,
Not necessarily they should believe in me. Whether I know them for different reasons in the past.
okay.
For example, when I was heading the language paper called Kannada Prabha here, which belongs to the Express Group, I was the editor of that newspaper. I had wonderful friendship with many of them. Not that I was even thinking, I was not even dreaming of going to a television. But I still knew them, most of them, for a variety of reasons.
So
They used-
relationships are really important in any business.
completely important. The relationship with cable operators is a must, according to me.
Can you explain what happened with the journalists and the lawyers? There's also some case filed against a whole bunch of news organizations.
I think initially the advocates shouldn't have behaved like that, because I strongly believe court is a premises for public. It's a public property. Inside the court hall, it's a property of the judge. Nobody has any business to say from where a journalist should report other than the courtroom. I strongly believe in the courtroom the judge can say. And the Supreme Court judgment, one judgment still says, court is not a source of information. You can only extract, that's all. But later, I think, both of us fought foolishly. Both of us stood on our egos. Both of us wanted to prove who is stronger than the other. Both of us were trying to tell the entire masses, look at the way I taught lesson to the other side.
I see.
I felt it.
So it was a macho chauvinistic thing?
Later I'm talking. I'm not talking the day one scenario. I felt extremely distressed because I have myself covered the High Court and the lower courts for 7-8 years. It's very correct for a journalist and a politician to fight. It's very correct for a journalist and a policeman to fight.
But with a lawyer...
I don't know why journalist and a lawyer should file, because your common cause has to be against the system or the wrongdoings that are happening in the society. Ultimately, I'm talking.
Yes.
So you're actually pals.
Tell me one last question. Am I looking at the future media tycoon, say in the next 10 years?
No. You will be seeing this channel in the hands of many of my colleagues after some time, because we will be handing it over to our colleagues. I will not
Colleagues
be worried.
meaning people who work for you?
Yeah, obviously. They are the one who are going to build, and they should enjoy it and they should run it. One chairman, one managing director, one editor must emerge amongst themselves.
And what will you do?
I'll go and relax, read books, enjoy my time. I have punished my wife enough.
Oh God.
Yeah, I have not spent much time with her. I'll rather spend some time. We tour, travel. Lots of my classmates are.
In how many years is this?
I've been doing journalism.
No, how many years will you do this
This
plan?
could be around 5 years.
I'm going to be here in 5 years.
You are most welcome.
And we'll see
I'll
what's
still
happening.
remain here.
Okay, but
Remember,
we'll check you out then.
I'll still remember
If not
you.
sooner. If another story doesn't develop.
I'll still remain here.
Okay.
But not on a day-to-day business like this.
Yeah.
Not on daily running
I see
shows
that.
and all.
Yeah.
Not on guiding them
I
whether
totally
they should come or they
sympathize
should
with
not.
that. So 2012, we have a date over in your office,
most
wherever it is, when we go digital to see what happens.
You are most welcome
Okay.
to come and check it out on that day.
Okay.
If I postpone it, I'll keep you informed.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.